Folks, Donald Trump Jr. is mad. Of course, Donald Trump Jr., much like his father, is always mad. There's always an outrage. Somewhere within Trump world, there's something they have to be pissed off about. And this week, Donald Trump Jr. decided to become angry about the fact that the federal government, the Department of Health and Human Services, has decided they're going to take over the distribution of the Regeneron monoclonal antibody treatments. And the reason for that is because they discovered that this potentially life-saving treatment for COVID-19, 70% of the stock is going to just 7 states. So that means the remaining 30% has to be split among 43 different states. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, all the states, almost all the states, there's one exception, Louisiana, but all the others are run by Republicans who aren't letting COVID protections go into effect in their state. Florida, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, all these states in the South are essentially hoarding the Regeneron monoclonal antibody treatment. And so the Department of Health and Human Services says, this isn't fair. You can't do this. We're going to take over the distribution of this, much like, by the way, the Trump administration did with ventilators and other medical equipment in the early days of the pandemic. You know, they were sending all kinds of stuff down here to Florida, even though we didn't have many cases yet, but they were starving New York. And we all know the difference, right? Cuomo was in charge of New York at the time. Trump hated him. DeSantis in charge of Florida. He loved him. We got all the crap. New York was left putting people in parking garages because they ran out of beds and ventilators. But nevertheless, now that the Biden administration is doing not even something similar, they're just, saying we're going to be in charge of the equitable distribution of this potentially life-saving drug because monoclonal antibody treatment is in fact a good treatment for COVID from what we've seen so far. But Junior got on Twitter and said this: Americans will die because of Biden's despicable decision to punish his political enemies in red states by restricting their ability to secure life-saving monoclonal antibody treatments for all that need them. Their blood is directly on Joe's hands. Really? You think the blood would be on Joe's hands, not on the governors who are fighting mask mandates? Not on those governors that are fighting vaccine mandates? Hell, down here in Florida, DeSantis has a law where if you require vaccines for your employees, you get fined $5,000 per employee. So they're literally preventing people down here in these red states, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Louisiana. Louisiana's actually not as bad. Whatever. But anyway, Mississippi, Arkansas. You're going to tell me that these red states that are preventing preventative measures, those governors don't have blood on their hands? There's no blood on Ron DeSantis' hands or Greg Abbott's hands or Brian Kemp or Kay Ivey or Tate Reeves? None of them have blood on their hands. Not to mention the fact that the drug is just sitting down here. Sure, it's available to those who want it, but not everybody is seeking that treatment. Oh, and by the way, Junior, it's not even equitably distributed within the state. In some cases, in both Texas and Florida, you have to drive hours and hours and hours before you can even find a facility to get treated for the monoclonal antibody treatment. So, Department of Health and Human Services equitably distributing this would actually eliminate that and probably make it more likely that people in these states would have better access to it. But we would also be able to spread it around to other states that have even higher populations than what we have down here in the South, so that they could protect their people too without these red state governors hoarding it, which is what is effectively happening now. Joe Biden is doing everything he possibly can at this point, and honestly, he could go further. But he is trying to protect the American public. He's trying to get us past this pandemic that your father ignored, Junior, and he put us in this decision. So don't you dare sit there and act like your dad didn't take shit away from blue states to give it to red states, because we know damn well that he did.